Hello everyone, welcome to Chaudhary Data World channel. Today I am here with a topic that is data warehousing. We will be watching in detail that what data warehousing is, what are the activities involved in data warehousing. So all these things we will be watching in this particular video. So let's get started with the video. This data warehousing is nothing but a unified view of the organization's data, as I have listed on it at the above. That means suppose if you are having some particular organization or you are handling a business, the data getting generated from that particular business will be in the unstructured, structured, it can be in any manner, but converting that structured and unstructured to reliable structured manner and then storing that particular data into your some system, you may say, or some repository, you may say, that is the centralized repository where you are storing your whatever data getting generated from your business in the structured manner. That is only called as data warehousing. It is a central repository, which I already mentioned. After that, it tells us that it stores historical and current data. Of course, whatever data getting generated from your business, all the data will be there into the data warehouse in a proper structured format. It might be the current one, it might be the historical data. So all the data it will be containing there. Now you can see in this diagram, it will be more helpful to get understand that what data warehouse actually is and where does it exist. So you can see that we are having sources. We can have a cloud source, we can have a local source. From multiple sources into one particular business, the data may be flowing throughout. So those data getting collected at this data warehouse. Now this data warehouse are having three main layers, that are staging, reporting, and metadata. That I will explain you later, and you will get to understand when I will be explaining you activities of data warehousing. After that, we are creating the data marts. So whatever data we have collected into some unstructured form, structured form, and then we made it into a structured form by one activity in data warehouse, which is at this level. After collecting it into a data warehouse, definitely we will be needing that data in some other locations as well. Suppose you are having the sales data into your data warehouse, the sales department will be needing that particular data. Suppose you are having finance data into this data warehouse, that again will be demanded by some other department or some other team, you may say. So like this, we then categorize our data into a small chunks, that is called as data marts, which come after data warehouse. Now the most important thing into this whole data warehousing is that there are several activities getting performed in this data warehouse to perform this, right from collecting the data to moving the data into the data mart and then after further there. So because into this whole data journey, there are multiple activities getting performed, in which data warehouse is one of them. Hope you got this particular point. So this data warehouse having multiple activities, those activities, right, starting from data extraction, transformation, and then loading. The question comes that why this data extraction, transformation, and loading, three activities are there into a single activity. It is called as ETL, extract, transform, and load, the full form of this ETL. So it is called as ETL getting performed, that is the ETL activity into the data warehouse, in which the data from the here it is getting extracted. After that, it might be, I told you that it can be in a structured format, it can be into unstructured format, whatever format is, it will be then transformed to the structured format, and then it will be loaded into that particular data warehouse. This is the very first activity involved into data warehouse. After that, data modeling is involved. This data modeling is nothing but if suppose you want to have some data kept into your data warehouse, but there should be some arrangement, right? Data arranged should be some into some arranged format. So that format may differ. So those comes under this data modeling. That is due to the performance issue. That means suppose if you are not arranging your data into some particular format, into the efficient format, then it might cost you for your performance thing, right? So that is data modeling. After that we are having data quality management. Definitely the data coming from the source is having the low quality. That means it can have some noises. That means it can have some you may say that outliers. So those things are getting managed into this data quality management in detail. Definitely we will be watching in separate videos all these activities we will be going throughout it. This is their data quality management. This is the majorly combination of data profiling, data cleansing, and data validation, and this all is done to maintain this high quality data into the data warehouse. After that we are having data governance. You can see here I'm covering this two activity at a time. This data governance is also a one activity, and data security and privacy is also one activity. The slight difference between data governance and data security and privacy is that in governance, once the data is getting created and this data mart is getting created from this data warehouse data, so who will be accessing this particular data within the organization? What all the policies will be applied onto this particular data? That will be handled by this data governance. And data security and privacy is something which is at the global level. That means whatever data it is into your data warehouse, it should be secure, it should be private. It's not like that that your data it is getting leaked to some other servers. It is getting hacked. So these all things are taken care in this particular activity, that is data security and privacy. After that we are having data warehousing architecture. That means we are having different architectures. Some of them are traditional architectures like Kimball dimension model. After that we are having different architecture, that is Lenmont enterprise data warehouse model. So all these type of things, these architectures we will be definitely watching throughout. After that, data lineage and auditing, which is a very much important you may say activity into all of this data journey. That means whatever data movements are getting performed, that means right from collecting the data from the source to dumping the data into the staging layer. You may say that into this data warehouse there is a staging layer. Into the staging layer, then all the layers, wherever the data it is getting moved, whatever transformations it is getting performed, because you can see that into this particular data quality management and the data extraction and transformation and load, that is ETL. In both of the activities, transformations is getting applied. Now this transformations should be kept in track of some with some activity. That is only the data line is an auditing. That means whatever transformations you are applying on the data, that is kept as the history in some particular table, or you may say we are having some mechanism for to handle that particular line. After that we are having metadata management. This is also called as data cataloging, in which we just whatever data we are having, that data is properly indexed. And why this is indexed? Just for the data discovery. That means if suppose you want to search around some data into the data warehouse, since the data warehouse is having a huge amount of data, so if your data will not be properly indexed, if your data will not be properly organized, definitely you are going to end up with having problem. That means of performance issue, that you will not be able to find out that particular data which is needed in that much fast manner, you may say. For that reason metadata it is getting managed. Whatever the data you are having, metadata it is getting managed in another activity. Then data analytics and business intelligence. This if you must be aware of that whatever right now going on, artificial intelligence, machine learning, whatever we are having, this whole data science concept or the advanced analytics concept, all these things, or the normal analytics concept, all these things are getting handled in this particular activity, in which we are analyzing our data, what our data is telling us, what that data is describing into the graphical format. All these things are getting done into this data analytics and business intelligence. We are having then reporting, data access and reporting. Of course, this whole data warehousing is only for the reporting purpose. That means this particular data, whatever we are storing into the data warehouse, it is somewhere the purpose to uh, give a backup, or you may say work as a backend for the business person into the some organization. That means that business people or business team will be needing that data, and the information, not the data only, the information from that data, the pattern from the data, from that data, that is all together given by this reporting. And reporting is backed up by this data analytics. After that, the last one and the most important one is data archiving and retention. Suppose you are having a huge amount of data and the data are getting older, definitely you will not keep it into the active area. That data should be archived somewhere. So there you should be having some functionality or mechanism to handle that archiving thing into your whole data warehousing. Whatever data you are taking up, it's the current data, but the most older one data should be the archived into the archived you may say mechanism. It should be handled somewhere. So this is whole about the activities whatever involved in data warehousing, and which I tried to explain you, and hope this you found it very helpful. If you found it helpful, kindly like to the video and subscribe to the channel. And I will be explaining you all these activities whatever we are having into this data warehousing one by one into separate videos. I may take up a series for each of them. So stay tuned to the channel for upcoming videos. Thank you so much guys for watching the videos.